So today we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of online dating. If you're out there looking for love, I know exactly what you need to do and what you need to avoid in order to be successful.
Oh, what is that?
Well, see, dating has changed in such an unfathomable way because we never anticipated that, with COVID, you're not going to be able to chat with someone online, maybe have a phone call and then meet them for coffee. So it's just complicated now because it's the difference between you going out there and getting sick. So here are the things that you need to do, guys. First, you need to be absolutely honest with yourself and to the prospect. Most people, when they go out and they're trying to date online, they're going to make a lot of, they're going to have some conversations that may not necessarily be reflective of exactly who they are. Some ladies,
So you
you're out.
saying some people online they be lying about who they are?
Absolutely. Sometimes people are having conversations that are not necessarily to your taste. You need to be honest and say, hey, this is just not working for me, and just, let it go. Another thing that people need to make sure is you establish your expectations from the onset. It's very important to make it very clear that this is exactly what I want out of this situation, whether it's building a relationship, finding a life partner. You need to be very clear that this is exactly what I want.
So I should be upfront with everything I want them to know about me.
Everything you want them to know about you and what you are expecting or looking for in that relationship. No ambiguity, because ambiguity doesn't solve any problems. Ambiguity will not help you find the life partner if that's what you're looking for. And ambiguity will not give you any satisfaction in trying to establish what type of a person this the person you're trying to get to talk to. Okay?
Okay, I got that.
Um, you know, some people are putting profiles out there that are not really reflective of who they are. Like you take your pictures from 1970 when you were like 18 and now you're 45. Come on now. That's not your best profile. Well, it's not your best profile right now. So technically you're misrepresenting.
Why is me?
Or you know what is even funny? People take selfies at a very interesting angle and then they play with those editing software. And the person who is on the photo is not the person who shows up in real life. So that's not your best. Your best is who you are.
So you saying I should just be honest and upfront with who I am?
Who you are. Give me your best representation of who you are right now. So your job is to go out there and make sure that you're doing everything you can to be the best you are. So that when you meet other people, they will see that reflected in you. And you know what, guys? Along with fake profiles, there's scams out there. So just be very aware that there are people out there who are looking.
So you saying scams is part of the dues because it's something you should look out for?
Know that they are scams. You cannot sit there and pretend that scams don't happen. There's all these things with catfishing, and there's all these other issues of people misrepresenting who they are. Scamming is there. It is a fact. You need to know about it. You need to do research on what types of scams that are out there, because there's some brilliant people walking around. And one of the things that I always say is talk to the person, because if you are out there dating dating someone online and all you guys do is texting,
So you saying you need to hear their voice?
you need to hear their voice. You need to be able to zoom them. You cannot be texting someone for 5 years. Come on now. So we need to know better. You know, don't be a perpetual texter. Do be proactive. And hey, if you're if you're texting with someone, or you're doing some online correspondence, and the person is not willing to get on the phone, just be aware that that is not a good indication of the beginning of that relationship. So those are the do's. If you stick with it, there's a good chance that you will have some success in online dating.
So basically, just be on your P's and Q's.
Absolutely. This is the way we're going to have to do the online dating now.
Do your due diligence, as
Do
they
your
say.
due diligence. Exactly.
So what are the don'ts?
So, for the don'ts, you know, along with that catfishing and the scamming and all that, do not give anybody personal information. No sharing of credit card numbers, no sharing of social security numbers. And it sounds like really bizarre that somebody would actually do that. But there are people who actually trust the prospect too quickly and give their personal information. So don't do that, because if you do that, then you're at risk for being scammed. Another thing is, do not compliment people unnecessarily or just for the heck of complimenting. The minute you tell me I look gorgeous and I look beautiful, and you know in your heart that I'm not your taste, and then later on you'll drop the bomb on me, that is not really being,
What kind of bomb they gonna drop on you? That you're ugly?
not necessarily, but hey, you're not my type. Come on now. You've wasted how many days of my life? And now you're telling me I'm not your type?
Well, usually when people see each other, you know, like soon the first time you see them, but like, okay, I can work with this.
Right. Even if it's ugly, come on.
Well, you might like their body.
Alrighty.
Men, that's how we be thinking, So
I guess that's a male thing, but ladies out there, do not compliment unnecessarily. Gentlemen out there, do not compliment unnecessarily. Also, avoid controversial topics. You know, when you discuss religion, politics,
so I can't
ethnicity.
tell her on the first day. I can't tell her how I feel about Trump. I can't tell her.
No, you're not talking about Trump on your first conversation, please.
Oh.
Pick another topic. You can even talk about the best restaurant you ever went to. That's not so controversial. But Trump, why are you bringing Trump in? How's that going to help you build
Now,
your...
what if they bring up some political stuff? How do you respond to that?
Typically, I will be very clear from the beginning. And we go back to the do's, setting your expectations. Hey, at some point, we might have a discussion about religion. But at this point in time, I just want to get to know you better. But however, I'll give some exception. There are some people who go into the dating websites and they identify themselves with a certain religion. So if you identify yourself with a certain religion, it is in your best interest to go to websites that cater to people who are of a certain philosophy or mindset. So that brings us to the next don't. Do not assume that everyone is honest. And that goes along with misrepresentation once again. Making assumptions about people. It's not in your interest to work that relationship or to work that budding.
What do you
friendship.
mean not assume that they're honest? Why wouldn't people be honest? I mean, if you catch them in a lie, then you're done with them. So you should assume they're honest to a certain degree.
You would assume that people see we are making assumptions
that
now.
shouldn't be their so if they tell me their name is Julie,
don't just assume they're Julie.
Tanisha.
They're not Tanisha. What you do, you take the picture on the profile and drag it onto Google search and click images. Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's what you do. That's your homework.
Okay. All right.
Another thing to make sure you do is
find love with the help of Dr. Wah.
I will help you find love. And I'm telling you, if you do and don't, you will find love and you will find even friendship. It doesn't always have to be exactly what you wanted it to be, right? You can settle for even friendship.
Right.
But it is also important that if you're trying to build a relationship, to avoid talking too much. Some people become the entire conversation. You're not even giving the other person an opportunity to say who they are. And to be honest, guys, when you listen more than you talk, people really do say who they are. So it is in your best interest. Talk less, listen more.
So be a good listener.
Be a good listener because you will get to know who this person is, even without trying. But this is life, though. And you know what? Relationships are good and relationships can work even online, even with COVID. And with that said, guys, life is good, love is even better, and happiness is you.